If there was any indication over the past few weeks on things starting to trend upwards after stopping the weekly slide, everything went into question again when the SmackDown numbers on Thursday came out, as the show, which was headlined by a Steve Austin vs Spike Dudley match and built around an Austin petition trying to get out of the three-way title match against Benoit and Jericho at King of the Ring, saw SmackDown, which has extremely high standards due to debuting in the middle of the peak of the boom period in August 1999, showing its sharpest drop to date, doing a 3.2 rating with less than 5 million viewers, the lowest rated show in SmackDown history, with a massive drop of around 1.5 million viewers over the average in the past month, and with SmackDown numbers unusually fluctuating over the past 2 months. The anticipation was to see if next Thursday's numbers are rebounding from a one-week aberration or staying in the same range before panic truly sets in, and if the record low number for SmackDown wasn't enough, the worrying trend continued to a lesser extent on Sunday, with Heat also dropping to its lowest rated show in history with a 1 rating, as Spike opened Raw calling out Austin in the follow-up to their SmackDown angle, bringing out Austin mocking Spike, saying that he doesn't deserve to be in the same ring with him, let alone in a title match, while giving him credit for being the only one to call him out, before mocking Molly again to end a segment with him giving her a stunner, opening Raw with a 3.3 rating in line with last week to set up Austin and Spike being added to each side of the Dudleys vs Benoit and Jericho tag match to make it a 6-man tag in the main event. With Raw last week dropping to its lowest rating in years and its other 2 main weekly shows doing their all-time low rating in the span of 3 days, the year-on-year decline of the WWF, which turned into one of the biggest powerhouses on television over the past 3 years by dominating cable TV while reviving and putting 2 networks on the map, caught the media attention with questions on the state of the business going forward, including a demographic survey that showed SmackDown losing 34% of its younger demographic compared to May 2000, dropping from a 7.1 to 4.7 rating in the teenage demo, with the overall viewership comparison between the past 2 weeks to the same period in June 2000 is perhaps the most alarming to date, as between the June 11th to June 14th 2001 week the WWF saw Raw averaging 5.2 million viewers and SmackDown doing close to 5 million, compared to the June 8th to June 12th 2000 week when SmackDown averaged over 8.6 million viewers while Raw did over 8.5 million 4 days later, showing a huge drop from the combined 17 million viewers in 2000 to 10 million in 2001, in an almost 50% decline year-on-year. And while it was clear that the peak of the golden era is in the past and almost impossible to maintain long-term, the decline, which initially didn't affect any other aspect of business after starting slowly only on Raw since the move to TNN in September 2000 before accelerating rapidly on both Raw and SmackDown in the weeks after WrestleMania 17, causing major reasons for concern due to the prime examples of how fast things can turn around to both sides over the past few years, despite the company still doing near-record business compared to any other time in industry history. Raw gained in every quarter throughout the first hour, peaking with a 4.2 rating between 9:45 to 10 p.m. in a segment seeing Edge and Christian continue to build to the eventual split, with them hyping a potential match against each other in the King of the Ring tournament, and mostly a Rhyno vs Tajiri match going 3 minutes that saw Rhyno going over to advance, with Angle beating Jeff Hardy earlier in the night to make Angle and Rhyno the first 2 in the semis on the pay-per-view. Raw's big segment of the night was next as Undertaker's music hit seconds from 10 p.m. with the Stalker coming out on his motorcycle instead, revealing himself to be Dallas Page to a massive reaction to officially kick off the invasion angle, as after the last few weeks of second-tier players showing up, Page, who was last seen on wrestling television headlining the final WCW pay-per-view against Scott Steiner, signaled on things being taken to the next level, with the main event players now starting to arrive, in addition to further emphasis on the WWF buying WCW, with Page, who was one of the most synonymous personalities of the Nitro era, making his Raw debut, explaining the stalking angle with him wanting to make an immediate impact by going after the top dog in the yard, saying that for the first time in his career he made Taker show weakness and he's gonna use him to elevate himself to the top of the business after hearing about needing to get to the WWF to do it for his entire career, hyping the first confrontation with Taker for the King of the Ring pay-per-view on Sunday, saying that he will be there if he has to buy a ticket or not, with the Page debut promo, which along with the reveal went 6 minutes between 9:59 to 10:06 p.m. seeing Raw jumping over 700,000 viewers to a 4.6 rating, the highest rated full quarter on Raw in a month, which likely peaked far higher during the Page portion of the segment, which went less than half the top of the hour quarter. While the company is looking to recover the audiences for their 5 hours of weekly primetime shows, the WWF would add a completely new concept to the schedule, attempting to capitalize on the reality series trend, with Tough Enough debuting this Thursday on MTV immediately following SmackDown, in a 13-week series that would give never-seen-before access on the behind-the-scenes process of the industry to the wide audience, attempting to potentially attract an additional audience as well as give regular viewers an inside look with special appearances from top WWF names throughout the season, with the 1-hour show starting at 10 p.m. to create a 3-hour block on Thursday nights set to be cross-promoted on all the Viacom networks, with the 2 winners set to get WWF developmental contracts. Vince McMahon's only appearance on the night came in a backstage segment, with him arriving midway through the second hour questioning Austin's decisions over the past week, with Austin giving him an ultimatum telling him to end the Linda divorce distraction or end their partnership, and with Chris Benoit set to headline the pay-per-view on Sunday after putting on some of the most memorable matches ever seen on wrestling television on almost a weekly basis over the past month, while going all out physically in every match during the run despite working through injuries. The recent physical demand and years of working an intense style in a full-time schedule started to take its toll, with Benoit having a nerve issue in his neck that would be evaluated after the pay-per-view and can potentially take him out of the ring for the rest of the year, coming in bad timing for him and for the company, with several other key players missing and Benoit getting a main event opportunity to further cement himself as a top headliner, with the final King of the Ring match seeing Christian going over Big Show to advance to set up Angle Rhyno, Edge and Christian in the semis on Sunday. Austin and the Dudleys against Benoit, Jericho and Spike went 12 minutes in the 6-man tag match, picking up over 900,000 viewers throughout to peak at a 5 rating, the joint highest rated Raw main event in the past 7 weeks, closing the build-up to the King of the Ring pay-per-view on Raw, with Jericho and Benoit both making Austin tap out for the finish to signal on a possible title change on Sunday. And with the focus of the company shifted between building the WCW brand to continue promoting the regularly scheduled WWF product, everything comes together starting next Monday in the official start of the build-up to the Invasion pay-per-view on July 22, And after the recent lows of the past week, all eyes are now on next Monday's numbers to see how much of both the lost WCW audience and up until 2 months ago regular WWF viewers the company can get back now that it's being made clear that the major WCW players are starting to show up, in addition to it being a post-pay-per-view show and a hyped Raw coming from the Garden.